Hey guys, I wanted to alert you to a situation in the restoration hobby that you may not be aware of, and that is some of the long-time resources to get replacement parts, reproduction parts are disappearing or hopefully temporarily offline. I started restoring radios on a regular basis about 15 years ago, and I'm glad I did, when I did, because it was easier to get stuff back then. I would say the 90s into the 2000s were kind of the golden era of restoring antique radios. By that I mean the really popular hobby. Not that it isn't still really popular, but so much so that a number of companies started up that specialized in making reproduction decals and dial scales, grill cloth, knobs, rubber components, and dial strings and bands for like dial drives and stuff. For a variety of reasons, one by one they've been disappearing, or their inventories have become limited. I think another thing that really helped promote the hobby and interest in it was the internet. For better or for worse, something like eBay really opened up opportunities to get stuff. And the online forums, of course, where people could share knowledge and share photos and offer advice and so on. And then, of course, online retailers to sell stuff. The first problem I recall was maybe 10 years ago when the biggest source of reproduction grill cloth closed shop. It used to be easy and fairly inexpensive to get excellent, near perfect reproductions of a lot of Zenith, RCA, Philco grill cloths. The main supplier of it stopped making it or became, well, I don't know exactly why, but I do know that the supply dried up. And of course people immediately started hoarding it and prices skyrocketed, and we went back to having to go to Joann Fabrics and use old bed sheets, whatever we had lying around. Slowly, quality reproductions have become available again, but of course they're going to go for the ones that are the most popular, can make the most profit first. So, still some scrounging in a lot of cases. So let me just get to it. Some of the go-to places, Playthings of the Past is no more. I'd been kind of off of the antique radio forums for the last couple years, so I've got a little out of touch, but now that I'm getting back into a major radio project, I've been spending more time on them, and I've been surprised to find out that, example, Playthings of the Past. I've used it before, a lot of you have recommended it to me. Fantastic resource for getting new old stock parts. And if he didn't have exactly what you needed, he was a great resource for suggesting something that was pretty close. The good news is, well, one, the owner didn't pass away, he retired. Two, somebody bought his inventory, and they are working on setting up a new online store. And it's somebody who's active in the community, so hopefully once he gets going, it'll be around for years to come. But he's having a lot of trouble going through the vast inventory of parts and cataloging everything and itemizing everything and setting up a new website. So eventually he'll be online. It'll be months, if not longer. Another fantastic resource I've used and mentioned many times before, Renovated Radios, is closing shop. He made fantastic reproduction knobs and rubber parts, chassis mounts, the supports that go under the tuning assembly, excellent knobs. And he was the only person I know of that ever made reproduction Motorola VT71 masks. Those are the 7-inch black and white TVs from the late 40s you've seen me restore many times. The original masks that went around the 7-inch CRT deteriorate and melted. They were always in terrible shape. He's still in business for now. I don't think he's making any more of anything. He's just going to sell what he's got left, and then that's it. 3D printing, yeah, it gets suggested all the time. It's not there yet. If you want a really nice knob, you've got to cast it out of resin. He was a master at it. Even some projects like my Philco 38.7 share side used some rubber parts that were specific to that model. I found one other gentleman who was restoring one as well, and we contacted Renovator Radios, and he made molds and reproduction parts just for us. I mean, and of course he went on to sell them to other individuals, but it's a pretty uncommon model, so I can't imagine he sold too many of them. But I mean, boy, what a loss. Larry Barderino, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing his last name, he passed away, unfortunately, a few years back. He made some of the best knobs I've ever seen. I used his reproduction translucent magenta push-button knobs in my Philco 3930 slant front radio I restored a few years ago. He also made the best Predicta knobs I've ever seen. I was lucky enough to get a few of them. Luckily, someone at least has the Predicta knob molds. I don't know if he has plans to start producing them anytime soon, but at least that got retained. I don't know what happened to all the other molds he had for his knobs or whatever else, or whatever happened to whatever inventory he had left over. That was years ago. My point with all this is to alert you to, if there are some parts you need, get them while you can. Don't sit on your hands. For a variety of reasons between the current state of the economy and, let's face it, it's an aging community. One by one, these companies, their stocks dry up, they're forced to go out of business, people pass away. I know some speaker reconers are gone. I think the unfortunate reality is we're going to have to get back to scrounging and improvising. Going to the plumbing supply place and finding rubber washers and O-rings and, you know, using whatever grill cloth we can get. Unless we continue to support the people that make this stuff and encourage, you know, it's supply and demand. If enough people want this stuff and the demand is there, the businesses will keep going. I just wanted you to be aware that two of the biggest suppliers, one is currently offline, and I guess they have been for about 10 months or so. That's Playthings of the Past. And Renovated Radios, get it while you can before he closes shop.